Hi, Nicole here, and welcome to another video. Today's video is all about product photography and specifically how to create your own light box at home or in the studio, or for my case, I'm at home in my studio. So come along, let me show you some tips and tricks and a creative tip at the end that I'm sure you're gonna love. All right, let's get started. Okay, before we get started, let's just talk about setup and gear. For this video, I'm just using natural light coming from the window. So it's going to be coming in, lighting my product. For the gear, I'm using foam board for kind of like our step 1 in creating a light box. Our step 2 in creating a light box, you'll see me using this reflector, and I'll link below to this reflector kit that I use a lot. And as you can see, just moving around, it bounces in a lot of light too. So based on the look that you're going for, if you want it bright white, you want as much light as possible, versus if you want something moodier with shadows, you're going to be able to do all this just with this simple setup. Now for my setup, you can see I'm on a table. My product is medium to small. And if I was doing a huge flat lay or bigger items, I may want to go to the floor, climb a ladder, and then I'll have a wider area to shoot from. But for those smaller items, this is a great setup. All right, let's get going. So I'm going to be shooting on a Canon 5D Mark IV. I have a 35 prime lens on here. For this setup, this can certainly work if you're using an iPhone or a mobile phone as well. This is really showing you how the light can really move around and how you can adjust it just with this simple light box. All right, so the first thing I will do in this scenario is I'm going to put my hair back, because when I start taking pictures, I don't want any hair to fall into the photo. And here we go. So I have a white piece of foam board here. Now this is just a Apple box, but this could be any type of product you have home to keep it stable. It could be up against the wall. I have my white foam board here. This could be white foam board as well, but because of my product, which you'll see in a second, the gray works out well with the color scheme. And then we're going to use a third to bring the light in. Did you just see the difference? So without, you can just already tell the gray, and then you can see as soon as I bring this in, it brings some pop of light. This is your basic light box. I'm bringing in all this natural light. I'm going to be shooting down, and this will be great. I can also be shooting straight ahead, which we'll be doing, and it works out well for that product shot as well. Okay, so let's see how this works and how you can see it with products. We have a special pair of sneakers here today. These are some off-white Dunks. Okay, and you can see light gray, pink, yellow. I'm just going to close this up for a second. Okay, so since the sneaker is gray, has some gray in it, it's really going to pop against this. So I'm just going to go at like a 2.8 just for a shallower depth of field. You will see, we'll be talking about that. I'm just going to take this photo. I'm going to bring this towards me a little bit more. Okay. Okay. And you can see there's a significant shadow behind the shoe here. If that's the look that you're going for, great. If you want to bring some light back to the sole, this is when you can bring in and make your light box even more. And I can already see a difference in the sole. So then we can take another photo. And all that light has filled in. And just for comparison's sake, I'm going to use the gray reflector. Now, depending on the amount of light coming in, based on the time of day, if this was like high noon and there's a ton of light coming through the window, you can use the shades to control the light and bring in more light if you need to. Okay, and you can see the difference there on the gray. All right, so that's one way within the Lightbox. Think of that as like phase one, and that could be exactly what you need, but we're going to take the next step. Now for depth of field, so that's when it's kind of like getting blurry in the background, you can shoot at 2.8 or really get close up with your camera on a detail. So I'll do that right here on the numbers. And you can really see, like if you want to get close up on the stitching. And that focus will kind of create that depth of field for you. But if you want the whole sneaker, I'm just going to use these little blocks. And I am going to lift. Now this could be used for any type of product that you're trying to create that depth of field. I'm just going to rest the shoe up on those blocks. And by moving it away from the background, you're kind of creating that depth of field. So if I want to be, let's see, more like 5'6", more detail, but I want the background to drop off a little bit. Those blocks do that for me. Again, this can be done, you could be taking pictures on a mobile device the same exact way. Okay, so we'll bring that white, light up the sole. Already see that difference. And these are just general little blocks. They're not any sort of specialty products. So anything you can to lift up, the key is that you don't want to see them. Okay. All right, so there's our 3 shots with this setup. Now, again, I'm shooting overhead, so this could be a flat lay. This could be a myriad of things, but I just wanted to show you the effect of the light. Now, we're going to shoot in this direction, straight on. But since we've done sort of level 1 and level 2 with the lighting, I wanted to give you this creative tip to get a reflection shot. All right, I think you're gonna like this one. For our last setup and getting a little bit more creative and having fun with product photography, I am going to keep this same setup. So we have the white backdrop and we have the gray underneath. But I love those cool reflection shots, and here's a little trick. Piece of plexiglass. So this is a piece of plexi that I'm just going to lay on top of the foam board, and I'm going to place the sneaker on top. And if you'll be able to see the reflection of the sneaker. So then when I'm this direction and I'm taking a shot, so again, that was without the full box. So let's create our light box again. Can you see the difference already? So without and then with. Okay, take that same shot. Now, if you have a product and you want to have this kind of blurred out effect and you're using your iPhone, for example, you could put it in like a portrait mode, but simply pulling the product away will have this blur it out a little bit. And it doesn't have to be a tremendous amount. It can just be, I'm only maybe 6 inches from the back. And again, based on your branding or based on how you want the look of the photo to be, depends on how much light you want to have thrown around. And then I can go in and crop this as well. Okay, so that is a simple light box that you can build at home to get some great product shots. Again, I'm just playing with the natural light coming into the room. I'm using the reflector or the whiteboard. So by using just those 2 little techniques, and then if you want to get even more creative and you feel like a reflection shot would be great for your branding or for their product photography, this is a great tip that I love using all the time. I'll outline everything I'm using down below. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.